Hi, welcome to my shop. In today's video, I'm going to show you how I made this really cool captive ring goblet. So keep watching. Alright, so here I am down the street from my house. Some car noises in the background. Yeah, this tree fell down recently. Yeah, it's a big beech tree. There's pieces everywhere. Let's grab a little piece and walk home. So this is what I got. I cut this off that piece that I picked up down the street. This is about 10 inches long, about 3.5 inches in diameter, average. And I'm going to put it on the lathe here between centers. So I'm going to turn the goblet. All right, now that I have this up on the lathe, I'm just going to screw it up. Spin the roughing couch. Alright, there we go. Got it all trued up. All the bark's gone. Got a little knot. Next up, I'm going to put a tenon right here. Okay, so I'm going to put a tenon here so I can put it in the chuck. And I'm going to have to true this edge up a little bit because it's kind of nasty from that chainsaw. Alright, so you can see I have a tenon here. I got to put a dovetail on that though, so the chuck will hold on to it. And I'm going to clean up this mess just a little bit. Alright, so you can see we have a nice dovetail now on that tenon, and the shoulder angles down just a bit. So this outside rim will actually sit on the jaws to make it more stable. Alright, so you can see I have this in the chuck. I have no gaps at all, which is exactly what we're looking for. And that piece is actually being pushed up against the chuck jaws with the tailstock. So now it's time to tighten it up. Alright, now we have the piece in the chuck. Got it between centers. I'm just going to true it up real quick. So we're going to have the top right around here. And let's say we're going to make it about this deep. Alright, we're going to put the base about here. And then the stem, right? So the mark there for the top of the base. Alright, that gives me some rough guidelines. So I'm just going to start turning. When I'm turning this piece, I'm actually looking at the line at the top here, and I'm trying to look for a nice smooth curve, and any little irregularity that I see, I'm just trying to turn it away. Okay, I pretty much have this bowl shaped kind of like how I want. Now it's time to hollow out the bowl part. All right, to take out the meat of this bowl area here, it's all going to have to be, taken away. You can drill it. You can also drill it then to depth and use that as a depth gauge. I'm just going to use my gouge. Alright, I'm about halfway done and the camera's actually in my way, so I'm going to have to move the camera angle just so I can get the swing I need to finish hollowing this out. Alright, so hopefully this camera angle I won't be in the way and the camera won't be in my way. Okay, so you can see here I got a pretty decent wall thickness, even all the way to the bottom. The bottom still probably needs to go down about maybe 1/8 to 1/4 of an inch, and I can feel a little bit of a lip in there that I have to take out. Alright, this scraper here, you can see I have a negative rake on there, and I've also turned a little bit of a burr on there using a burnishing tool. So that should clean up this inside and the bottom really quick. Alright, so I'm just going to use the scraper as depth measure, and we have about here, we have it about this deep from the rest. So we take it on the outside and look. You can see it extends just a bit past the end of the bowl, so when I finish that curvature of the bowl, it should be all about the same even wall thickness, and we're about 1/4 of an inch, maybe a little bit less. Alright, so before we turn the rest of this piece, it's time to sand the inside of this bowl, because it's really pretty much the last chance we're going to have to do that. And I'm going to round these corners over just a bit and taper this out, just to make it seem like it's a little bit thinner at the end. Alright, so I got some Abernet cut pieces off 120 to 400, and we're going to sand up the inside of that bowl. I know some people put a tennis ball in here, but I have this cone that screws onto the end of my live center, so we'll use that. Alright, so I just tighten that up enough just to make it stable. I definitely don't want to put too much pressure on there. That cone will actually split that wood open. Alright, so now it's time to turn the stem, and maybe we'll make a ring on here. So this raised area here, I'm going to make a captive ring. I have a captive ring tool. Okay, so I'm going to cut this captive ring, and before it breaks free I'll sand it up a little bit, and then we'll keep going. going to tape this ring off so it's not flopping all over the place. And I'm going to turn this stem down so it's closer to the size I want it to be. Okay, so there you can see I have the shape of the stem. I'm going to have to sand that up. This is pretty good here. Because of the angle here, I'm going to have to undercut that. I really can't have this being a whole lot thicker than any of the rest, or it just, you know, it won't dry properly. So. Okay, you can see here I undercut that just a bit. But before we remove this, you know, or part this off, we're going to have to sand the whole thing. So let's get this tape out of here and let's sand it up. Okay, and there you have it. Just need to part this off. Going to hand sand the bottom, and the little stub that's going to be left over, I'll just take that off with a spoon carving knife. Alright, that's about as far as I want to take that down. I'm afraid the whole thing's going to just come off of there and it's just going to go crazy. So, alright, so let's take that off with a handsaw. Let's loosen up the tailstock and move it out of the way. I got this little pull saw that I'm going to use. Alright, now you can see the bottom here, right? I got this little stub to take off, and I'll do that with a spoon carving knife. Alright, so here's the bottom, right? And here's my hook knife, right? And I had spoon carving knife, it's a hook knife. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to slowly whittle away at this piece until it's gone. Alright, well there you go. It's a captive ring goblet made out of some beechwood that I found down the street about 4 hours ago. So after I got done carving that little nub off the bottom, I just sanded this up to 220, and yeah, I did that off camera because that's kind of boring. And then I covered it with some walnut oil, and I gave it a coat of walrus oil wood wax. So there you go. Nice beechwood captive ring goblet from a piece of wood that I found right down the road. Alright, well I hope you liked the video, and if you did, please hit the subscribe button and hit the like button for the video. I'd appreciate that. And just remember, if I can make this in my shop, I'm sure you can make it in yours. So I'll see you next time. Scott's Mini Woodshop. Have a great one.